Regroover is a plugin which, if I'm going to be honest, I had not actually heard about until the team behind it, AccuSonus, hit me up and asked if I wanted to take a look at it. So I did a little bit of research on the plugin and I actually thought it was pretty impressive. So I just wanted to make a quick little video just to show you guys what Regroover does and how it all works. Let's get started. So Regroover is a sampling tool. The main feature of the plugin is that you're able to import drum loops, and then through the power of artificial intelligence, these drum loops are split into individual drum stems. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull in a drum loop and just wait a couple of seconds. And now my drum loop has already been separated into individual stems. Let's go ahead and have a listen to how they sound. So we've got the first layer, second, third, and the fourth one. Now, as you might have heard, the auto detection has not worked perfectly, and to be honest, I have actually noticed that this happens quite often. Now, sometimes changing the analysis settings will help get rid of the problem, but sometimes it doesn't really seem to make any difference at all. Luckily, that is not too much of an issue though, because you can actually go through and iron out all of the little problems, fix everything up manually. So the main issue that I've been having a whole lot is just the fact that some drums have some frequency overlaps, which means that certain frequencies from the kick will automatically be pulled into the snare stem, and certain frequencies from the snare will automatically be pulled into the hi-hat stem. But like I said, this can all be fixed and tidied up with just a little bit of tinkering. So for example, my loop here has some of the higher frequencies from the kick drum stem. That one right there, you can definitely hear that it's meant to be a kick drum. So to fix this, I'm just going to click this button here, and now I just need to make a selection of which elements I would like to remove from the stem. So we'll select here, we'll probably get these ones here as well, and this one here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and lock these other two tracks, which are not the kick and snare. And now I just need to go ahead and hit the split button. Just like that. So not only has this pulled the kick drum sound out of the snare stem, it has also added that sound back into the existing kick drum stem. So let's go ahead and have a listen to that. Yeah, that sounds a whole lot better. So now I've gone ahead and tidied up all of the tracks. Let's go ahead and have a listen to what they sound like individually. So we've got the snare track, the hi-hat track, and the kick track. So now that all of my stems are sounding a whole lot better, I can go ahead and start manipulating them in a couple of different ways. So first up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mess around with the looping markers. So I can just adjust these to any size that I want. Oh yeah! Maybe we'll go for there. Let's see how that sounds. Oh yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. So next up, I'm going to add on some effects. So we've just got some usual things like a noise gate, an EQ, a compressor, as well as some saturation. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some saturation onto my snare drum. Maybe a little bit of compression wouldn't hurt. And I might also put some saturation on the hi-hat, but I'm just going to pull down the post filter a little bit. So now that I'm happy with how my loop sounds, I actually have a couple of options of what I can do next. I can export it as an entire drum loop, which I can then go ahead and resample again. Or I could even export it as separate layers. So for example, if I just wanted to have the hi-hat and the snare, I could do that. Or I could even select single one-shot sounds. So for example, if I wanted the snare, I could just select that, and I can just drag it all the way down here. And there we go. So now we have a nice little drum pad for a snare drum. We can also drag in some other samples. So let's say we want a kick. Just drag that in there, and we can also grab a hi-hat. And now I can switch over to the editor mode. And there we go. So now it just looks like your usual drum pad setup, and we just have some of the sounds which we extracted from the loop. So there we go, that is Regroover. Overall, I think this works pretty well, and I can actually see myself using this a whole lot in the future. A lot of the time when I make a track, I like to add in a layer or two of pre-made drum loops or breakbeats. When I do this, there is usually a couple of sounds that I really wish were not in the drum loop. This is usually the kick drum. Now usually I would try sidechaining out the kick in the drum loop, or even just chopping out sections of the loop altogether. But now with Regroover, I can just pull out the kick or any other sound that I don't want out of the loop in a couple of minutes, and yeah, it's good to go. But yeah, anyway, that is going to do it for this video. I'll make sure to leave a link to Regroover down in the description. Make sure to go check it out if you like the look of it. And before I go, I better say a big thank you to the team at AccuSonus for hooking me up with Regroover. You guys are awesome. I'm definitely going to be using this a whole lot in the future. And yeah, anyway, that is going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.